Get us all in here.
I'm just gonna hold it.
We're gonna hold it?
I don't know.
Oh, guys, listen. We have no idea how we're gonna get everybody in here because they won't let us turn our phones sideways. But
Wait, we really can't. Oh man, we can't. Oh, wait, is the orientation? No.
we're live with Johnny Q.
What's up, guys?
Louisiana
Look, American Outlaw,
You say
Louisiana Firearms.
Louisiana.
Not Louisiana.
I got 7 people on.
Hey, look at this.
We all fit in here.
Louisiana Firearms. Andy, look at him. That's my buddy right there.
Someone
We got
said,
Dalen from
American Outlaw, Louisiana Firearms.
Bye. Alicia.
Bye.
I thought we were gonna be friends, but we're not friends now.
Here, I'll go over there.
Okay, guys, bear with us. We are like,
We're all trying to be friends.
yeah, we're figuring this out.
Doesn't mean we don't love you guys though.
Bye.
I thought we were gonna be friends, but we're not friends now.
Here, I'll go over there.
Okay, guys, bear with us. We are like,
We're all trying to be friends.
yeah, we're figuring this out.
Doesn't mean we don't love you guys though.
Bye.
I thought we were gonna be friends, but we're not friends now.
Here, I'll go over there.
Okay, guys, bear with us. We are like,
We're all trying to be friends.
yeah, we're figuring this out.
Doesn't mean we don't love you guys though.
Bye.
I thought we were gonna be friends, but we're not friends now.
Here, I'll go over there. Can I buy? Oh, go buy yourself 8 gumballs for your buddies for $2.
Oh, thanks. I expect this. Awesome.
Okay,
All right.
dudes, listen, we are at NRA's show, and it's actually, I didn't come here to work, but Dalen has literally been dragging me around.
My fault.
I'm like, dude, I got a gimp knee, I'm dying. Anyway, how's the show so far?
I'm loving it. I really am. It's way different than SHOT Show. It feels more like a relationship kind of thing, more networking than anything. In SHOT Show, I felt like you're just doing something all the time, you know, going to meetings and really trying to work, but this is like, cool, really enhance our relationships and all that and meet people.
And the cool thing about NRA is like anybody can come. So if it's ever in a city where you're at or you can get to, worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
You don't have to be like an industry professional or anything like that.
What about you?
It's been good so far. Yeah, definitely a lot smaller than SHOT Show, but overall, just meeting new people, same people, people in the industry. So it's been really good. So
Yeah, so if you guys are in Dallas, downtown Dallas, for the next 2 days, you should come to NRA. I'm limping around, they're walking around, but you can come say hi.
We can get you a wheelchair.
It's embarrassing.
And you guys, if you see us, don't be afraid. Like, stop, say hi. Like, if
Yep.
you stop, say hi. The only person who bites here is Johnny. Good question.
good question. I bite hard.
All right, what are some of the questions they got?
What's your favorite gun and why?
Start on that side.
Big old blanket.
Oh, my favorite gun right now, honestly, is a Glock 48. I carry it every day. I like it because it's slim and it like doesn't pull your pants down. You don't know that it's there. So Glock 48, and I can still shoot it, far enough for a CCW.
Real quick, you two in the back, make sure you two are talking louder than maybe these two are, that you can hear, because the cameras aren't picking up you guys as much.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So my favorite gun right now is the 6-hour X Macro, 17+1 with an optic on there. It's my everyday carry, and I just go to town on that thing. So that and a Glock 43X.
Well, the macro is a great choice. It's hard not to just go with that.
Right, right.
It's the concealability, the ammo capacity, and the shootability.
Oh,
Everything.
definitely.
It's just very, very nice gun. My favorite that I've ever shot, probably Staccato XC. That's probably my favorite gun. And then like a dream gun, probably HK G36C, something like that. I would absolutely love one of those, but yeah.
Very cool. My dream gun was like a Staccato or something like that, but you already got that one in the bag.
Dude, Staccato's taking over the world.
They are.
Yeah.
Got a Staccato P for a
So
while.
what's your favorite now?
I would say right now, so my favorite before was the Canic Rival SFX-S Chrome because it's flashy and it's such an unnecessarily heavy
Cartel-esque.
gun. It's really cool. The trigger is great, but it's tied now with the Canic TTI, and I like them for different reasons. The TTI, just that aggressive grip texture. Have you shot that TTI? You're gonna have to get your hands on it. It is a flat shooter. I can't decide which one I like more, the SFX Rival S or the TTI, but they're dang good, both of them. I don't think I could pick. Yep.
Next question.
Do you have a favorite type of ammo? I assume they mean brand.
For what though?
Brand of ammo or?
Okay, let's do rifle and pistol because I
There you
don't
go.
know.
Pick it.
So if you're gonna do a rifle and it's your 5.56, you should shoot Black Hills Mark 262, 77 grain Sierra Match King, or Barnes 70 grain TSS X. If you can get your hands on the Barnes 70 grain, it's proven to do better out of the 10.5 than all of them, but 77 grain is number 2. And then my favorite pistol round is Defiant Munitions 135. I did a ballistic test, and that Defiant, like Pete builds the nastiest bullet. What you got?
I mean, is that pretty much it?
Well, I'm gonna double off of that. Something interesting about the Defiant munitions, those copper, they're solid copper hollows. You can get them in 380 auto. I don't know if you tested the 380 auto. I tested the 380 auto, which an anemic round by many terms. I put the cloth barrier in front, tested a bunch of hollow points for the 380, and they don't expand because they get clogged by the cloth.
Yeah.
But in the ballistics gel with the Defiant Munition 380 auto, it actually had 12 inches of penetration, full expansion, and it didn't get clogged by the cloth barrier. So that is a really good pick for defensive ammo. Range ammo is, in my opinion, range ammo. I'm not picky when it comes to throwing lead down range, but for stuff you're gonna bet your life on, you definitely wanna keep it good.
So if you guys, like, one of the ones I get a hard time about all the time is my Glock video where I said I bought every Glock and they were jamming so much. Everybody's like, you're limp wristing it. I'm like, no, dude. That was Cellar and Bellet, and I got a bad lot.
Yep.
On all those, really? On all that ammo?
Yeah, those jams were all that. So I still have that ammo, and anytime I grab it, it'll jam all the time.
Yeah.
And when your life's not on the line, it's not the end of the world. It's annoying, but
Right.
I don't even think it's annoying for me anymore because it should not be for you. Like if you're shooting that and you're like, oh, my gun jammed, you failed. It should just be that your gun, you shot, you press the trigger, and you tap rack. And so that is like real practice. And you should make it to where you're just like click, click, click. Oh wait, and then you're like, crap, that
Not
jammed
thinking
when you were
twice about
done.
it. Yeah. For defense, I do gold dot.
I love Gold Dot. That's what I shot before I shot.
Yeah.
Gold Dot was great, but Defiant just beat everybody now. Can we read the comments? What are they saying now?
So
Who's got the most?
one of them wants to know. I can't read. Your screen's got the like, don't look at me from the side screen on it.
Oh,
So I
that's all they
can't. I
have.
can't see yours.
20. How many people over here?
44.
You guys, Johnny Q, we're at 71, which is good. But let's share this live.
Civilian
Good
tactical,
question.
guys. Civilian tactical, we gotta bump these numbers up. We gotta beat Johnny Q. He has more subscribers than me. He's always beating me. He has over 1 billion views on his channel. Johnny Q is the man, but guys, we gotta bump these numbers up. We gotta beat him. We're at 57, you guys. Good work.
All right. Do you guys have a favorite YouTube channel out of the 4 of you? Who's your guys' favorite YouTube channel? Who do you?
Of us?
Oh yeah.
Wait, we have to pick.
Yeah. Your favorite YouTube channel.
Give us time to think about this one. We'll come back to it.
No, for you guys. Like, who do you guys watch on you guys, basically?
I watch all of you guys.
Yeah, I watch everybody.
I have been enjoying your long form content a lot. At first, I liked your streaming videos, and I'm like, I'm all for it. But your long form, informative, you're knowledgeable, and you're actually doing tests with like guys who are out there doing it or have done it. So to me, I love it.
I'm the same way. I mean, Trey, he kind of coached me a lot on the YouTube thing, and I guess it's a little biased, but yeah, I've always been entertained by his old shorts with the screaming and throwing guns like an idiot and all that. And
Are you not entertained?
he's hit the nail on the head. His long form content's really, really good. If y'all haven't checked that out, I'd highly recommend it because he knows what he's talking about. This guy's got a lot of experience. Check out his channel.
I got a question for everybody in the different chats here. What type of videos would you like to see on the different live streams you're on, all from our various channels? What type of videos would you guys like to see? Because that gets us excited to make videos, depending on what you guys like. So
Yeah, that is one of the things you guys are like. We constantly try to kick around ideas of what we think you guys want to see. It'd be so much easier if you guys would just be like, this is what we actually want to see. Because there were times like I'll spend 3 days filming a video and then a week editing it, and I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. and then nobody watches it. I'm like, what the heck?
Been there.
To be fair though, nobody knew they wanted to see 22 versus a human leg until it appeared on your channel. So
Yeah,
sometimes we just
When my
have
buddy
to-
shot himself, that was a cool
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, sometimes you just strike gold. I think when it comes to content, you really can't like play the game, like know the game. It's always gonna be so many variables that are thrown at you. But yeah, I mean, you're just gonna strike gold one day, just coming out with a random idea. But having the chat or like the audience telling you what they want to see, like that's obviously gonna be helpful, you know, instead of us just guessing, making content. So
Throw us a new one, Trevor.
Johnny's comment section really wants to know what everybody's carrying.
Ooh.
Glock 48.
Yep. X macro.
Shadow Systems MR920.
Dang.
As of recently, Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS.
Yeah. What optic?
That's where I'm like really conflicted right now. I need to pick up a Holosun right now. I have a Loophole Delta Point Pro. Decent battery life is bad, so
Yeah.
that's the only thing. But that's not the end of the world if I just keep an eye on it, pull it out every once in a while.
Yeah.
So
I have a
Mine,
question.
mine has X.
When you carry everyday carry, should you carry a flashlight with your everyday carry?
Okay, so this is a big topic because
Big
there's
one.
been some YouTubers that really start hammering people for this. Here's my belief. Go ahead, call me FUD, I don't care. I use my flashlight a lot, or I hand it to my kids or my girls or whatever. And I also grew up in a time where holding your flashlight and firing your gun is normal. So I use my flashlight multiple times a day. I don't use my gun. So I don't have a flashlight on my gun. Also because it's heavy and it's bulky, but I have one in my pocket. Now, to me, it doesn't matter which way you go, but that's just how I do it. But for all the YouTubers that are like, oh, that's dumb. Clearly you're just not educated enough to understand that it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But I carry one in my pocket and not one on my gun.
and if you have a flashlight, you're in a dark parking garage. Are you gonna whip out your gun with a light to illuminate some dark corner after a light went out? No, you're gonna use a flashlight, or else it's not gonna be. It could end bad.
Which is
Right.
crazy because cops do that all the time. Cops will bring out their gun and flashlight and be like, what do you have in there? It's a no-go. I personally think or I don't carry a flashlight with my gun. I'm never going to be in a room where it's just completely dark and I need to grab my gun. Like, unless I'm clearing a room in my own house, I don't see a need for that. Just because, to me, it's lighter, and in those conditions, there's light and I can see. I'd rather have an optic on there versus a flashlight. My opinion.
Can you guys in the chat hear when we ask the question? Because I want to make sure you guys know what question we're
Please,
answering.
Trevor.
Otherwise,
Could you rotate my camera just a little bit to get Train here just a bit more?
I'll just leave it.
You know,
Or even turn it back.
Yeah.
That's
Another
perfect.
thing
How's that? Is that looking
That's
good?
great, yeah.
Another thing that I'll add to that is, those of you who carry a pistol on your light, which is still a good idea, I don't think it's a bad idea. Gunfights, let's just go by the average, 3-3-3. So 1-2 gunfights over. Draw your gun and tell me you can turn on your light. Tell me in 3 seconds you can draw, fire, and turn that light on. I can't, maybe you can.
My finger's going straight to the trigger.
If there's
If
a
I'm ever in a
reason,
situation
if
like
there's a
that.
reason you don't have a safety on your pistol, it's the same action to actuate a light. It's an extra
Yeah,
step.
it's just another step to getting away with you like firing your gun fast. My thought on the whole flashlight thing, you're adding weight to your gun, so it's gonna help you recoil no matter what. So I do prefer to run a flashlight just because I like the shooting experience better, and I like the utility of it. My first instinct isn't to hit my light or activate my light whenever I draw my gun or anything like that, which it is a good thing to train, but realistically you're not gonna do it. But I like the utility of, okay, it's on my gun. I don't have to have my offhand on a flashlight while I'm clearing this house. I like it to be on when I'm pointing my aim with everything. You know, I'd much prefer it on the handgun.
And for me, like if it's gonna be a handgun in my house, it doesn't need to go in a holster. It's just sitting there inside like by the bedside or something like bedside gun. Yeah, it might make sense to have that light on there, but for me.
Case scenario then.
So I tell you, when it comes to home defense, I used to have a Glock 17 with a silencer on it and a light. And then I was talking to an Army friend of mine, and he was like, dude, you know how hard it is to stay tuned up on a pistol? I'm like, I do. He's like, now make the furthest shot you might have to make in your house, down the hallways, whatever. Now, you just woke up in the middle of the night, you're groggy, you're scared, are you gonna make this shot with a pistol? And I was like, oh my gooseneck, I don't think I am. So I stopped doing that, and now I have a rifle. And I have my rifle still set up to where as soon as I touch my gun and lift it up, my light comes on. Because I'm not trying to be sneaky. I'm not trying to sneak around and find you. You wake me up in my house in the middle of the night, I'm grabbing my gun, my light's coming on, I'm screaming at you. I'm coming to kill you, leave. And when I walk out of my bedroom, I'm turning on this light. I'm looking, I'm turning on this light. And because it is a win for me if you run out of my house and run away. Like, I'm not trying to be macho, man. I don't need to shoot you, right? I don't need to shoot you to prove that I'm a man. Like, I would rather you run out and me call the cops and my kids are fine and we're good. Not that, oh man, I got in a conflict and your kids saw that. Or you shot through your wall because you missed, or it went through him and you hit one of your kids. Like, this is all real stuff, and it's not the movies, you know what I mean?
And people think that just because someone's in your house, you can shoot them. Like, there's states out there that say just because someone's in your house, even if they broke in, you cannot shoot them. Like, that's not a thing. You will go to jail.
No,
it's dependent on state.
know
state.
the laws where you live for sure. That's one thing that if you're going to be a responsible gun owner, know the laws.
State
where you live.
statutes.
I'm a
State
Louisiana, you
statutes.
got standard ground doctrine.
Yeah,
House doctrine.
move to Texas.
Texas,
Idaho, we're good.
All right.
So here's a little bit more of a long one. So set up on this one. So he has a 1022. He wants to do something bigger. Going to the second firearm. What should he buy?
So he's got a 1022.
Owns a 1022.
Going for a second
He
firearm.
wants to go for a second firearm. What should he get? He wants to be bigger than a 22. What would you recommend? Second firearm, not a 22.
Why am I always first?
You got it. Well, I mean, he's at a 1022 and he wants to upgrade.
Here's what I would do, guys. My opinion, your first firearm should be a Glock 19, or a SIG 320, or a Smith & Wesson M&P. All of them are essentially Glocks.
CP9.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me. That should be your first pistol. You should buy 5 magazines. You should buy a holster. You should go to a class somewhere to teach you how to shoot that gun, because in your life, the chances of you shooting somebody with a rifle are almost none. Chances of you shooting somebody defending your life with a pistol are really, really high, or higher. Still really low, but higher.
Yep.
So that Glock 19 is small enough to conceal, big enough to fight with. So that's my opinion on that, is I would get a Glock 19 and I would go to, I don't know, a tactical response and take a fighting pistol.
I mean, same thing. I would say the same thing. So, I mean, I would go to Glock just as, actually I just made a video, like a beginner gun, if you're gonna, because it also depends on your budget, right? Because people are always, I want to stay safe, but I don't have $800 to, spend on a gun. You can get something like a Stoker STR9, which are very affordable. They're like Glocks, but I say if you want to take it seriously, go save the pennies, spend the money on a Glock 19, and go train. Buy a gun, buy ammo, and go train.
And this is something we were talking about recently, because many years back when I bought my first firearm, it was very affordable. I bought a Taurus G2C, and everybody's saying it is important to get a good, reliable handgun. My Taurus G2C has never given me problems, but if I were to do it over again, and this is something we were talking about, if you try in one day, you can mow enough lawns, you can clean enough gutters, you can weed enough gardens to afford that Glock 19.
Like, don't spend money on fast food for 3 days.
Yes.
Everybody out in America right now.
So it is doable. If you think you can't afford a Glock 19,
See what they say?
put in a little bit of extra work to get it. So that's my 2 cents there.
Okay, so I've been a salesman for 3 years, so I deal with this question a lot. People do come in and say, hey, I'm getting my first gun, I'm getting my first handgun, what do I get? Shotgun, rifle, whatever it be. In that situation, I would ask them, okay, what is your application for this? Are you doing this for home defense, or you need a vehicle gun, a truck gun to defend yourself, nightstand gun, whatever it is? So I usually go, okay, you need a home defense gun, do a Glock 17 with a flashlight on it. That's usually what I say. That's my first pick. It's like, It's a Glock. They've had the same design for decades. It's gonna
Tell
work.
your boys to ask questions.
Huh?
Your boys aren't asking too many questions.
Oh,
They're
they're just running their mouths.
They're spinning everybody's wheels. It
And
looks like.
I was gonna say as well, in addition to this, eventually you're gonna move beyond a second gun.
Yeah.
You're gonna want, and this is my opinion, a 9mm pistol. You're gonna want a shotgun. You have your 22. That's fun just for going into the range. It's not like the most necessary gun, but it's affordable to use. And then you're gonna want your shotgun, rifle. So rifle, pistol, shotgun, and if you have a 22, that's a bonus on the side. That's just my opinion as to what my first guns were and what would be a good suggestion.
Ready for the next one? Do you prefer red dots or pistols on your rifles? Talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Red dots or pistols?
Red dots. Sorry. Red dots or scopes on your rifles?
A red dot or a magnified optic
Uh-huh.
on your rifle? Which do we prefer?
I prefer a low power variable optic on mine. A red dot is really good when you're at the range, and it makes you look good because it's fast, it's easy to use, but you have to think about if you're gonna use your rifle in America, you really need to see what you're looking at. So you need to always bring it back down to 0 power or 1 power, whatever your lowest power is. And then, you're gonna have time that if you have to dial it up, that you're gonna have time. Like, I know you think gunfights, I don't know what most people think gunfights are. They're not like the movies, right? Like, you're gonna have time. Like, if you watch the guys here in Dallas when they got in that gunfight, they still had time to take cover and shoot. So you're gonna have time to take and rotate your scope up and look at them, but I need to be able to see them. And there was a study done, I've said this on my channel, I haven't ever said it on you guys, but there was a study done by the Army of 500 TICs, troops in combat. Only 20% of the time, I think it's 22% of the time, was it a full silhouette human shooting that they were shooting at. The rest of the time it's their head, their arm, their shoulder, their leg, their pelvis. And so what I want to know is like, okay, I may only be able to shoot this guy in the shoulder. I need to see that it's his shoulder. Boom, right? I may only be able to shoot him in the leg. So that's kind of my opinion for America, but what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm now kind of seeing that side, but for me, I typically run red dots or something like something with a prism, just because in my application, last 2 years being in law enforcement, that's what we were doing, like close quarters, and somebody wasn't 100 yards away. It was always like in a house or something in a shopping mall or in a school. And for me, light application makes more sense. But I can also see why I would need something like an LPVO, right? And even going into schools, like I could see an LPVO being something important, but depends on what's going on in that building, in that situation. Is it, hard and fast, or is it gonna go nice and slow? And so to me, it just depends on, you should probably have multiple, but I would think, I guess for me, like kind of the one and gun type deal, I would like something kind of quick where I can aim and just, a couple rounds and then go to the next thing.
Yeah, I love LPVOs because you basically can run them like a red dot if you wanted to. Your EOTech Voodoos and your Razor HDs, they feel like a red dot. They're so clear, you have thin bezels, so they're not hard to use. But I guess the answer is it depends on where you live, your environment. Where I'm from, Baton Rouge, the longest recorded shot from Baton Rouge Police Department, any local agency, there's like 60, 80 yards, something like that. So I don't really, all my setups, I do a red dot on it. But I have an LPVO, I have an ACOG that I'm in love with, but I got red dots as like my bug out go-to right now. So.
Yeah, and I have an astigmatism, so red dots for me kind of have that starburst. So I'm prism usually. And yeah, there is definitely something to be said for, like on my rifle right now at home, leaning against the wall, is 1 to, I think it's a 1 to 6. And yeah, like you said, you leave it on 1 power, it will work. It's a little bit harder, but you can reach out if you need to. And I don't think I am I'm not a great marksman, so for the 1 to 8 and just for the eye relief, I can't utilize that as much as some people could, so I stick to the 1 to 6.
Love it. What's the best pistol red dot? Money, not a question.
What is the best pistol red dot? Yeah. Money, not a question.
And then civilian tactical, sit back just a bit. Louisiana, come forward just a bit.
There we go.
Well,
easy choice. Trijicon SRO is my favorite by far. Oh, well, RMR HD just came out, which is just as good as SRO, just as big, but you get the reliability and durability of an RMR. So, yeah, RMR HD or Trijicon SRO, those are my top two.
I mean, the Navy proved that the Trijicon RMR is the strongest that there is, so I'm gonna say, like, if you watch on the line, Trijicon RMR, but dude, the Holosun, what is it, 507 or whatever, like,
507C.
they shoot, so, I'm gonna say, I really like the SRO.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the SRO is big. It's got a big, wide view. But for our department, we switched from irons to 509T by Holosun. Built from titanium, large window, and I mean, the thing is proven. So I like Holosuns a lot. And there's something to be said that there's a ton of different optics out there and red dots. And I do think the ones that you see on YouTube, the ones that are being, tested out, like go with something that you can afford and try to build kind of your wish list of getting to that. Oh, I would love to get that at some point. But I think everybody should have a red dot. And that being said, having a Holosun is okay. You know, it's not like, oh, you're not gonna be able to save yourself. You will be able to, as long as you train with it. So
I've been selling them forever. They work. You know, you're right. The 509T, that's a good step into the enclosed emitter space.
Right.
It's a box optic, kind of like the Acro, but like.
I broke 2 Acros.
Have you really?
Yeah, both, I bought 2 brand new ones, broke them both.
The mounting system?
No, look, one of them got water inside of it.
Oh wow.
the actual optic.
Yeah, and the other one just died. You know when I did the car wash video?
Yep.
Yeah, just died.
Oh, that was it.
Just died.
Apparently not rated for a pressure washer.
No, it's not rated for car washes.
Yeah, I'd say same. Money no object. Money no object. Trijicon. If money is, Holosun can do you well.
Yeah.
But the question is, money no object. So.
One from Civilian Tacticals here. Do you have a favorite brand of body armor?
Do I have a favorite brand?
This is obviously Civilian Tacticals comment section here.
So
I
for
wonder what's
body
gonna
armor,
be.
everybody knows that I run AR-500. The reason I run AR-500 is because I've shot them myself. I've shot their steel body armor. I've literally put soda bottles like right underneath. Trevor, who's reading off our comments right now, has been there, and he did not think that that steel body armor would stop a bullet. I don't run the
And
steel
steel?
body armor. Steel. It captures everything. It did not send out any fragments into the water bottle that could possibly puncture it. I don't run the steel, but you've seen me run AR-500. That's because they're actually one of our channel sponsors. So, you know, I'm not going to give too much of an opinion on saying that like they're the best because they literally help the channel keep running. But before that, I tested every single piece that they had against everything that they said it would work against. No problems whatsoever. But before that, I actually was running some, what is it? Got them on Mr. Guns and Gear had shot them up, and they had stopped like a round of 50 BMG. Now, the person behind the body armor would have been dead, but it didn't penetrate, and it was the. I'll have to come back to that if I can remember. It was possibly Botac, but of course. If you just want something that people use that works, Hesco, it's gonna work.
Next, velocity systems. So I've got some velocity systems plates. They're, I don't know, what do they weigh, like a pound and a half a piece. I mean, they're really expensive though. They're like $3,500 a set, but they're my favorite.
Yeah. I'm currently running Arma plates, King of Armor plates. And before then I was running the Safeguard Defense Brass system. So.
Not too knowledgeable in the space of body armor, it's something I want to get into, but I know, what is that? Everybody uses it back on Angel Armor? Is that? Yeah, Angel Armor is like the gold standard back in Louisiana. A lot of LE guys over there run Angel Armor, so I don't know. Eventually I'll have an answer for you on that one.
Everybody in the chat, comment what you run. We're curious to see. Everybody else, you guys can read those comments and share with each other as well.
AR or AK?
Ooh.
I don't care. Just give me one.
Yeah, I love them both. I think I'm more familiar with an AR, so I'm going to go with the AR. But yeah, I mean, AK is such a great platform. It's hard not to choose one of those either. Yeah, AR-15 for Andy.
I'm going AR.
I go AR. If I was in a place where I had to use AK, of course, I would have more experience with AK. I would choose AK. I'm in a place where I have a lot of experience with an AR. I choose AR. You guys probably all have more of an opportunity to be practiced with AR as well. So.
Do you guys have a favorite holster brand that you love?
Yep.
Or holster setup, maybe not a specific brand, but like this type of holster or something like that?
Yeah, T-Rex Arms Sidecar, 100% is my favorite holster. I've tried 5-6 different brands. I'm an appendix carry guy, so I like the T-Rex Arms Sidecar. If not Tier 1, their Axis Elite would be my second option. And then Safariland just came out, their partnership with Haley Strategic. They did the Incog X, which they do it for the macro, the 48, 43X, all kinds of different guns. Those are really nice because they got a nice felt suede material on them. So, yeah. First pick's gonna be the T-Rex Arm Sidecar.
My go-to, so it would be Safariland, and then what I'm currently running is the Dara Holsters holster for range stuff. But I do like the Safariland holster just because of the 3-level retention, and that to me is just, it feels home. I'm pretty fast with it, and so that's only because I've trained with it, so I'm sure I could train a lot more with other systems and be just as proficient.
I shoot the Incog Eclipse from G-Code. G-Code, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I shoot. I've shot. That's what I've carried for since Haley came out with the first one.
Yeah.
If we're talking outside the waistband, though, I'm gonna have a 6000 series Safariland outside the waistband. That's
Outside the waistband, Blackhawk Model T.
Oh, you liked it?
Yeah, it's the best holster.
Blackhawk, yeah.
Dude, it is incredible.
With your 34? No.
With my outside the waistband, so like 34.
Okay, yeah.
I would say, for concealed carry, I have the worst problem ever. I bought it was a used Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS, and it came with a custom-made holster. And that's literally what switched me from using micro 9mm to just a Glock 19, was the fact that that holster was so comfortable. I don't know who makes it. I can't figure out who makes it. I put it in groups with people who know holsters. They cannot decode who made this holster. It is by far the best holster I've ever worn, and I can't recommend it to anybody because I will never know. I will never know.
Nasty.
I'm waiting to see if another couple comments come in, otherwise we'll go to our little game from Google.
Let's do it.
Actually, I have a question. So in a self-defense situation, I see a lot of guys that train with, they hear the beep and they'll go right to their appendix and shoot right away. But like I think about that, I see it and I think, you would have to pinpoint who your enemy is, have proper sight alignment and sight picture where you know you're gonna shoot that person right away. But I feel like there's time that you can assess and be like, hey, that person's a threat. I'm gonna take my gun out, put it at Sewell, so south, right? And just wait to see what happens. Like, I don't think we're ever gonna be in a time or in a situation, maybe you can talk to this, but like where I have to completely take out my gun so quick and shoot at something. I just don't feel like that's a situation that's ever gonna happen.
I think it definitely could, but I think there's so many situations where it might not, and not every bad guy is gonna,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Like,
practice.
train yourself to just whip out the gun and shoot. I feel like is not a good way to train. Where you could take out your gun really fast and keep it out here, and not have to shoot right away. That's kind of, I don't know. But if a guy's coming in with a knife, my gun's already out and it's pointed at him, and I'm yelling commands, so that later in court I can save myself. Versus, oh, he's coming at me with a knife, I'm gonna shoot. Maybe it's different, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
What's your thing? The 3-3, what is it? Every
3 yards, 3 seconds. 3 yards, 3 seconds, 3 shots is the average gunfight. They're changing now. They really are. Like when revolvers were out, they shot all 6 shots, right? So they're changing. For me, I look at the clock as I'm looking at the clock and racing myself, and the clock and racing somebody else as a way to get my heartbeat up and put myself in that stress and have the competition like, you can't beat me, or I'm gonna get my gun out and shoot it. So I look at it as a way to induce stress, not this is how I train to shoot somebody.
Right.
Because the truth is, I'm probably not just gonna draw my pistol and shoot you. I'm probably gonna draw my pistol, just have one hand while I'm running and start shooting at you. right? Because I've got to get out of the way. You've got to get off the X. Static operators die. So if you stand there, you're going to die. So you have to move, right? So I just look at that. I still do, how fast can I jerk the gun? I like to race my friends. I like to race my kids because it makes them faster. So like my middle daughter, when she first started, had a 2-second draw. When the first time she raced me, had a 1.2 draw. Like as soon as we started racing, boom, boom, we got a 1.2 draw. So what that does is it lets your body know that you can move faster.
Right,
And so,
definitely. And that's what I think, like, yeah, training like that is good training. But I see a lot of guys on Instagram who will get it out of the holster appendix, shoot, and put it back in there. And I'm like, that's just, to me, that's a pretty disadvantage to you because you're training yourself to take it out really quick, take a shot, and put it back in your holster.
And
When you're not getting off the X, you're not preparing for everything else that's going to be happening.
And
You know what I mean?
I think it's a fair point because 95% of people, if you are practicing your draw and your shots on target, you're standing in front of your target, you're pulling your gun out, you're putting, and you're staying you're staying on the X
You're going to get better. You will get better and get really fast. But in a real world scenario, I mean, there's going to be, a backdrop of other people, your kids potentially. I mean, there's a whole different thing.
And for context for everybody listening, we are giving our thoughts on what we would do if we were in this situation. Of course, there's so many different situations where different tactics or practice could come into play. This is just what we're whipping up on the fly.
It just pins down to how you're training and what you're training for, which is why, buy a gun, go train, and train how you're going to carry it and use it. So, for example, I get some crap about my modular bag where I start up here on the tag, and I'm like, well, if something was happening, I'm going to be ready. I'm not gonna, have my hands static at my side and then get ready. I'll be up here because I'm assessing what's going on. If there's something going bad, I'll take it out and just be here. And that's kind of what I'll do.
Right, I think there's a huge mistake. I've heard a lot of people say, if I take my gun out in America right now, I'm using it. Bro, not me. I'm happy to take my gun out and tell you to stop.
Oh, yes.
Because if I don't have to shoot you, then I don't have to go through a whole freaking Rittenhouse thing. You're gonna go to jail, they're gonna blast your name all over the news, you're probably gonna lose your job, you're gonna spend $40,000 or $50,000 in court fees. Regardless of what you think, there's gonna be a chance you're gonna go to jail. So for the next year, you're not gonna eat, it could cause you a divorce. Dude, give me the option to make them stop or run away, and I'm always gonna take it.
And not brandishing. That's not the same thing. That's not what we're talking about here. For anybody who's wondering, definitely a different situation.
Yeah.
We're having that debate in the office right now at the gun shop. It's what would you do if somebody came in, grabbed a gun, and ran? Me personally, I'm letting them run. I'm not willing to go out there after them, shoot them, risk my life over something that's not mine necessarily. That just doesn't seem worth it to me. So yeah, I'd rather deter them, get them out of the store. The only reason I run after them is go get their plate number. That's about it. But yeah, we train so static in the range. Just out of the holster, bang, bang, bang. But inducing the adrenaline pump, the stuff you're actually gonna experience in a self-defense situation. That's something we really don't think about. Moving and shooting, all that. So.
Right. And that's kind of where I'm coming from as far as getting ready. And if someone is 21 feet away from you or less and they have a knife, I'm up here, I'm getting it ready, and I'm taking it out. But I'm not gonna point it at them. I can say, dude, drop the gun, what are we doing here? And if he doesn't and steps forward, well, now it's coming up, right? But I just think all that's just going, the wildfire of that spreading of getting really fast, shooting, putting it back in the holster. I think that can be very dangerous for people to train like that. So,
sticking on the subject of concealed carry, do we carry with one in the chamber?
Oh, yeah.
Carry one in the
yes.
chamber.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're a dead man's gun if you don't.
Yes, carry one in the chamber always. Always, always.
And it can be hard at first when you're first starting to carry a gun and you're what about if the trigger gets pulled? What if I'm pulling it in and out of my holster? What if practice? This is something I've heard somebody say. If you are so afraid, if you won't carry one in the chamber, have the hammer back, carry with nothing in the chamber, just like you would normally, not saying this is a suggestion. If you carry it for a week and your hammer is still back, your striker is still back, by the end, you have been carrying safely. Nothing will happen if you have a round in the chamber. And that's how you can know that you are safe to carry it with one in the chamber.
Yeah, people are just weird about pointing guns at their nuts when they get into guns. You know, appendix carry and like, well, I don't want to have a round in the chamber pointing at my balls. You know, so it's But yeah, I've seen people like over like months of carrying, like, okay, now I'm gonna move to carrying one in the chamber. But you know, you get a good holster, dude. There's no reason for that gun to go off. You get a weird gun if that's the case. So.
You also have to think about when you get into that high stress situation, your mental capacity, and like you literally get tunnel vision where all your extremities and like the way you manipulate a gun goes down to like 20 to 30% movement, which means you won't be able to pick it, grab your gun out, rack it, and point and have a proper shot on your target. That's just not gonna happen. If you're getting shot at, or your family's dying, or you're running, or you forget to rack it because you think you have one in the chamber, always carry one in the chamber.
Same on concealed carry again. Full size for concealed carry. How do we feel about full size firearms?
Full size for concealed carry. I also saw a question. How do we feel about full size for concealed carry? I also saw the question, should I carry a 509C, or what do you think about carrying a 509, FM 509? I'm 5'3", I believe that person said. So kind of those two questions go together, so let's answer those.
So here is the true definition of that answer, I guess is what you would say. You should carry the largest pistol that you can conceal. If you ever go out and shoot macro small pistols, they're really easy to carry, and if that's all you're going to carry, then you should have it, right? Like rule of a gunfight, bring a gun to the gunfight. I guess number one rule of a gunfight should be don't get shot in the gunfight, but those pistols are really, really hard to shoot. And one of the things that I don't think people really understand is like, man, past 7 yards, it's really hard to start shooting people in a gunfight with a pistol. Now you're just like, whatever, dude, I can hit them at 25 at the range. I know, but
Static,
right,
standing still.
you sure see a lot of misses at 10 and 15 yards. You really do. Like, it's just a lot. Or I was trying to shoot them here and I shot them over here. That's really popular because they draw their holster wrong. I mean, they draw out of their holster wrong. But you should carry the largest gun that you can conceal.
And I'm gonna give my opinion on that. You should carry the largest gun that you are comfortable carrying, because if it's uncomfortable, you're not gonna like it, and then you're not gonna carry it, and then you're not gonna have a gun. And the first rule is bring a gun. So kind of along those same lines, I think it's important to have something that fits well. And that was my issue for a while, not having a comfortable holster for a larger handgun. And as soon as I found that holster,
Oh,
I agree with Trey completely. Like that's if I could carry a Glock 34 concealed, I'd do it. Because more mass on the gun, the less recoil you're gonna experience. So yeah, of course I'd rather carry a full size gun, but for me, I can't really get over a Glock 19 at the moment. The frame's just long enough for me. But,
Yeah, all good.
we also got a question. Wait, why aren't you yelling and throwing guns? Are you sick or something?
I'm gonna be honest, I've been sick for a while. No. I'm trying to change from shorts to trying to be, long form, trying to add more value for you guys. So I'm bringing in a lot of my friends and just trying to add more value to try to help you out, because I see a lot of things in YouTube. I just did a short the other day on it, like, when do you take your safety off? In my world, that's like, we already know that, but I realize that there are a lot of people that don't know when you take your safety off. They don't know when to put the gun up or when to put the gun down. And so I want to add value. And then my really good friend James told me, I'm 43 now, so I'm an old man, but one of these days my grandkids will watch this when I'm not here anymore, and whether you think it's correct information because your favorite YouTuber said it or not, it's correct information, and they're going to be able to come back, watch and learn, and be like, hey, yeah, my grandpa was, American Outlaw, and this is how he did it. And I'm pretty sure that 20 years from now, the way that we do it now is probably the way we're going to do it then.
And I think it's adding that, like you said, adding that value. It's exciting to do, and this is something that all of us, that I'm trying to learn from this guy here, but something that will improve is, it's fun to do the fun stuff, to yell, to throw guns, to blow up watermelons, to shoot helmets and body armor and whatnot, but eventually bringing it back to usable knowledge, important stuff. And I think that's something we're all trying to do as best as we can, so yeah.
What else?
Heck yeah. How do we feel about home defense shotguns?
How do we feel about home defense shotguns?
I am personally not a big fan because I find that I can attach my rifle light and an optic on my home defense rifle. More so, better than I can, easier than I can do a shotgun. Now, of course, you can still do it to a shotgun, but also the capacity, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of shotguns for my home defense.
I don't know. I've tried dime shot, and dime shot can be a pretty exciting one. Load up some dimes in a shotgun. Just kidding. Don't do that. Not very effective, but it is fun.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm not a crazy big shotgun guy. I've shot the Beretta 1301 plenty, and I've owned a Benelli M4 tactical. I owned them for like a year. Love the gun a lot. I'm just really not picking up a shotgun. It's got a whole different manual arms compared to my AR-15 that's sitting next to the bed with a suppressor on it. Yeah, that's my answer. I'm just not a shotgun guy. I don't really want to use it.
I like them. I think you'll smoke a dude in your house with them. So if you want a shotgun,
Yeah.
take a shotgun.
Yeah, they're devastating.
I think it is a home defense, and that's about it. And I think before you do it, you should know, like, you should go into your house and measure the furthest distance inside of your house and go out to the range and make sure. So ammo changes lot to lot. So you gotta have the same lot that you practiced with, go out and pattern it to make sure that it will stay on the target. And if it will, it's great. Because I think I did that video to 20 yards, which is across your house. I can hip shoot you with a shotgun and I'm getting all the pellets on it. So if somebody in your family, your wife, your kids, somebody like that, they're having a hard time lifting up these rifles. They're not having a hard time holding a shotgun and hip shooting it. So I'm a supporter of a shotgun. I like the Beretta 1301 a lot.
That's a good gun.
Kind of going off of that, I've done some testing with, I think it's number 9 buck in ballistics gel. As silly of a size or a caliber that it is insanely devastating for the amount of pellets that you can get in there. You can do some serious damage, and they're smaller, so if it's something indoors, you're going to get a little bit less of that over penetration. So I've done some really interesting testing with number 9. It can be great for home defense, but you need, like you said, you need to practice with different lots. You need to know exactly how it's patterning and know the distances in your house, and then that'll help you decide, is that the best option?
Bros, to the last guy commenting here on Andy's page, quit asking please, 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 and write what you want to write, and we'll answer it.
I love it. It's
They're
weird.
the ones like picking up the show outside right now. Anti-gun.
Next question.
Is it worth coming to NRA in Dallas?
I think so. I think it's a cool show. I think you get to see the owners of the companies that you guys like, and you get to hang out with us. Like, if you guys are at NRA, come to the Hilton. Like, we'll hang out.
What I want is GOA to have a convention that's this big as well. That'll be a good day. But it can be very great, and especially since it's open to the public, or can be if you get an entrance.
I'm not bored and looking at the window. There's so many people that are walking by. If you're talking about me, that they like keep catching my eye. So I'm like, what? I'm not bored.
It's instinct.
Yeah, NRA is so worth to go. I've been to SHOT Show twice, and this is so much more laid back. And yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I mean, you just gotta have an NRA membership to get in. So yeah, 100% I'd recommend it.
Is there a gun out right now? I'm rewording the person's question a little bit, but is there a gun out there right now that's got a lot of hype that you guys think is a little overrated? That you would say maybe
I
stay
don't know if I
away
can
from?
say it.
A
dude.
gun out there that has a lot of
I don't know if I
hype
can say it.
that is over. I think it's important to say it, and I don't think it's gonna change your relationship with that company.
I don't think. It might be a surprise because I like them a lot. I like that platform, but I mean, I know I I did hold it. It was nice. I just haven't shot it though, so I can't really say that for sure. But like an overhyped gun,
Overhyped that you think maybe stay away from.
stay away from. Well, that's different.
We can just keep it simple. Is there a gun out there right now that's overhyped?
What do you have one in mind?
I
have a couple.
I think I'm in the same boat as you, where I've heard a lot about a specific gun that is newer. That
I don't even know what gun they're talking about.
from a great company, and then people just
Okay,
start
I'll
talking
say
about
it. I'll say it.
H9, yeah.
Oh, really?
What?
No, I thought the H9 was great.
I love it.
No, yeah. So I think something that's overhyped, but I want to shoot. I hope they didn't see this. Probably won't. The Watchtower 2011 that came out.
It's worth it.
I don't even know what that watchtower
Dude,
is.
that is. I mean, it looks fast. It looks great. I handle it awesome, but I don't know. It just maybe.
Okay, I went to Lafayette Police Department range.
Okay.
Watchtower's there. Watchtower and EOTech were there, sponsored the event. And they brought the Apache 2011, which if y'all don't know what the Apache
The
2011 is,
Apache. I mean,
it's a Staccato XC, but it's completely PVD coated and a nice chrome finish. And the gun feels like it's just running on like ball bearings. It's just
right.
well
And so I
built.
shot it at a SHOT Show.
Mhm.
No, at the other. Yeah, it was a SHOT Show. Range Day.
Mhm.
It was great, but like, it's basically a staccato.
Yeah,
Just get a staccato.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I still like the, yeah, I
I'm not
don't
gonna
know.
argue with that.
I'll be that guy. That's,
Yeah.
that's
I didn't even know those guys existed. So
Those are good dudes. I definitely look up with them.
You may
Um,
be in the same boat. I don't know, maybe not.
I don't think there's a gun out there that's overhyped right now. If you like a gun, pick a gun.
I like it.
The gun that I think is the coolest gun at the show. What do you guys think it is?
The coolest gun. That saber was pretty sweet.
What's the
Or
saber?
that PSA saber.
Um,
10, 1, 10, 12.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
that's-
Saber 10.
that's pretty
It's,
sweet.
it's the it's that AR-10 size magwell, so you can get it in the 6.5 Creedmoor. That's a sick gun. I need to
Right.
get time behind it though.
The H9, I was over there today and hopefully trying to get something out with him, but that H9 did feel great. The actual safety on the trigger is pivoted upside down, so it's not coming, like it's not down on the trigger, it's up on the trigger, which is different, and the takedown system is completely new and just way simpler than a Glock. Aluminum frame and a steel slide. I mean, to me, that's a pretty sweet gun. And a lot of guys were like, that's just another gun. It's not that great, but I don't know. I can't wait to shoot it. So,
Oh, you.
Mine's a Genesis FBI shotgun. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm getting that gun, and that thing it's bad to the bone. Especially the one that's the FBI, that's like the pistol size,
yeah.
because they also have that like reciprocating barrel or whatever that you can still, so you can like go to breach and still boom, 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 and it'll
Yeah.
still shoot.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is
That's pretty
sexy.
sweet.
And I was looking at, speaking of Genesis, one that they are doing is specifically for drone, anti-drone. They have a special load that they recommend to go with it. I believe it's a goose load. And they have it in like a 4-inch barrel with a suppressor, and they're getting it in a pattern like their longer barreled rifles. They've got some magic sauce there. Very cool. Very cool.
Have you checked out the Micro 9s by Kimber?
Mhm.
Those are pretty sweet.
Yeah, those are nice.
Micro 9mm Kimber. Yeah.
Come on, guys, we all know Kimber doesn't shoot.
I was gonna say
That's facts.
they look like, to me they look like High Points.
They look so sweet, dude. Come on.
Somebody mentioned that to me and I could never unsee it.
Their quality went downhill like big time.
They still look cool though.
Yeah, they Daniel Defense PCC. They're 9 now.
Yeah.
I finally got my hands on it. Like actually hold it. It's got an ambi.
I mean, my answer on everybody else's.
Yeah.
For me, EOTech, one, I've got astigmatism, so the EOTech is, like, it looks like a starburst for me. Now, what I realize is when I'm just in a room up against the wall, I'm like, I hate this. When I'm shooting it, actually, I don't pay attention to it. I still hit the target fine with it. But the battery, like, it will shut off on its own.
The EOTech,
The
yeah.
EOTech. And it will, the battery life is only lasts about a month. So my problem with that is, if I'm waking up, or let's just say it's my truck gun, whatever it is, in America, I'm grabbing this rifle, it means it's happening like this. I don't have time to turn on the scope. Like I'm just not. I'm just gonna pick the gun up and I'm gonna go. So I would rather have, and also when you have the ACOG, it starts with the original. You can keep your chin on the gun and look, and then be able to shoot, right? And then it gives you close, and then it gives you the 4 power for longer, or I need to identify my target. So that's what I would pick.
Yeah.
We push like risers big time, not only for like passive aiming, night vision, and all that, but just heads up shooting position. You go back to way back when they were doing optics on top of carry handles. That's the same thing as a Unity riser, pretty much with a T2 on top of it. So I absolutely love having an RMR on top of ACOG because it's so natural when you present the gun, and then you can really dig your teeth down if you need to get your 4 power and get a precise shot.
And I saw this in your chat. What is this Fed meetup? They assume we're all federal agents, is what they're saying in the comments.
CIA, NSA.
This is not
Actually,
good.
you say-
This is not good for the
Hold on.
rumors.
Say it. I think
ATF.
Si, senor. Ba, 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 ba.
So what happened was
Give me your
they all
guns.
threatened to arrest me if I didn't do this. So the only non-Fed here.
There is someone behind his chair holding him at gunpoint.
Yeah.
American Outlaw, this one's in yours as well. So gun that's overhyped, H&K 416. Do you want to respond to that one?
You were just
So the H&K, let's just tell the story. The H&K 416 is iconic gun. It is heavy, and in the last decade, they've had a lot of problems with it, which is why nobody's shooting it anymore, right? And H&K's gun haters. So if you guys don't know this, H&K is like, they're not just a gun company. Like, they sell everything. They're like a major military contractor, and they hate guns, but they have to do guns because Germany requires them to do guns. They build a great gun, but they're having major problems with the 416. And then you can't work on the 416. If your 416 breaks, you got to send it back to them so that they can fix it and then send it back. So you're out this whole time because they can't. So is it overhyped? Sure, man. I mean, it's iconic. I mean, it killed Osama bin Laden, right? You know, but both of the units that use those don't use them anymore. So, I mean, is it overhyped? I don't know. It's just a gun.
Another one from, well, does anybody else want to touch that one?
I hit the nail on the head.
Another one from yours, they want to know if you've ran anything from Faro Concepts, specifically their FCPC. Faro Concepts
So
plate carrier.
this last week, the owner of Faro Concepts and I were together every night. He looks like Willie Nelson, Riley. He looks like Willie. When he came in, I was like, "Is that Willie Nelson?" Willie, and he's like, "It's Riley." I'm like, "I'm just saying." Anyway, I love the guy. I have their Slickster and I have their Sling. I use their Sling. I don't use their Slickster because I use that Velocity Systems body armor and it's a weird cut. But I don't have their, what is it, FCPC, whatever it is. But I think he's gonna send me a bunch of stuff. But I like Faro Concepts. I have their PVS 31 mount too. I like that thing. You guys?
I'm not, no.
I've got a question for everybody. Upcoming video sneak peeks that you haven't talked about anywhere on your channel. What can you say?
I got a 1-man CQB with Phil, a 2-man CQB. What else do I have coming up? Angstead Arms 9mm, which is a really cool PCC. I got a bunch of recce videos coming up. We went to the mountains and did a bunch of recce videos. Painted my freaking face and everything for you guys because I love you. Well, I think probably the coolest video, you guys should all watch the recce videos because like people have this like thing about, you know, without rule of law, Tilawaki, whatever, SHTF, and what they're gonna do, and like real reconnaissance, reconnoitering, like you don't have sleeping bags, you don't have MREs, you don't have fire starters, and you know what I mean? So anyway, that's a sneak peek. What do you got?
Sneak peek, honestly, not much, but doing more long form, prioritizing out more this year, and hopefully more of the competition shooting that I'm doing. So that's my sneak peek.
Knight's Armament SR-15 torture test.
Oh, I just got an SR-15. I like it.
I can't imagine torturing an SR-15.
I know, sad.
It was ugly.
All they
Leave it on the
say,
ground. What do you got? What's your sneak peek?
I'll say bicycle gun,
Bicycle gun.
and that's gonna be a fun.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, bicycle gun for everybody listening. Look it up.
Titty gun.
This is very fun. It's close. So bicycle gun,
Handlebar.
and then PSA. I've been working on that one for trying to get some of those new guns for over a year, and finally the day is gonna come to do some PSA. My first rifle was a PSA, and it's gonna be nice to finally get some more to do some videos with.
The Jackal from PSA? We did a whole video on that. That gun impressed me big time.
Yeah, that's good.
I've never owned a PSA.
Well, so for years, like we were like staying away from them, but they had a shift in production. Like their quality's pretty
Oh, I
insane.
think, yeah, I
They
think
listen.
Their new saber lineup, even their AR sabers, not just the M110. They got a Mark 12 clone that they're doing. That's
I want
really
one.
nice. You know, but yeah, the Jackal, we ran the crap out of that gun. I really enjoy that gun.
Very cool.
You guys want another question? 8 o'clock.
One more.
Let's do
Okay.
one last
The
question.
last one that I pulled out of there is SIG or Glock.
Last question: SIG or Glock?
Well, you guys saw my video, SIG, the gun that's been shooting its owner since 2014. I'll take a Glock.
Fight him.
I carry a SIG, but I carry Glocks on duty. Yeah, Glock.
Outside the waistband, full size Glock. Inside the waistband, micro compact SIG probably. But
And then when it shoots you, micro.
I still love a 43X. You know. Yeah. Mainly Glock. Mainly Glock for me.
Yeah. The Micro 9 SIG 365, the trigger, just as bad as a Glock in my opinion. I know.
Really?
And my side of this, though, I'll tell you, like, if it was like the SIG P, like 226, 228,
Yeah.
like those guns, when they said to hell and back reliability, they're legit.
226.
Mark 25.
Yeah, dude. I got a
You have a 226 Legion?
No, I got a 228.
Did you rate?
Yeah, so when I first, I'll never forget when I was a kid, I was like, I want to be in the FBI. Well, there's your flood stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to be in the FBI, and Guns and Ammo had a two-tone SIG 228, and back then they had bands on the magazines, and they were like 13-round magazines, and I'm like, this is going to be so cool. And so I never bought one for myself till like maybe a year ago, and then I bought 4. And then so now I got them, and I still love that gun. So, I mean, I would take a SIG or a Glock in that case, but
But so then what SIG would you not carry then, or not?
the 320, I just
320s?
I love everything about the 320. The 320 scares me. It just does.
It's unfortunate when you can't have 100% confidence, and you can say that with Glock, that you have 100% confidence. And is it all in my head? Maybe. But
Right,
I trust Glock.
but what
Well,
happens
there's
is
so many
it's,
of them already out there where we've seen proof of, well, someone got shot or the holster got shot, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's enough proof for me, I feel like.
Yep.
Did he just get a,
Hey, I got a super chat. Thanks, good stream. We're really happy. You guys appreciate it. We're doing it for you guys, but we're also doing it for us because we're friends, and this is just fun. So
And dudes, everybody. So we did this on everybody's channel right here. I wish Outlaw was my dad. You might not like me as a dad, bro.
the camera at the top right, I believe? Yeah, switch that.
Oh, okay. So everybody's doing their own page, right?
We got all
So
the cameras.
we have decided that all of the nights we're here, we're gonna do lives, right? Did we decide that?
I'm gone tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Oh my gosh, why are you leaving?
Because I gotta go, I'm leading a men's group at my church, and we're going to the range.
That's a horrible reason. Oh, okay. Well, some of us will see you tomorrow.
all right, you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for that super chat.
How do I turn this off?
Shout out to Oregon.
Yeah, sorry the live went down.
John, you and Civ Tech are meant to be. That's funny.
How do I turn this off?
very carefully.
You press the X up here, brother.
Oh, okay.
And